Albany's Rock Station Q103. What's going on? It is Candace. I'm hanging out today with a couple of bandmates from one Mr. Alice Cooper. We're hanging out with Chuck Garric and Ryan Roxie. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon
Candace.
or evening, I guess now, right?
Yeah. How are you? You ready to rock tonight?
Dude, I am ready to rock. You guys put on an amazing show. I think it's like 2 years, almost to the day, since you guys were here with us last.
I remember Albany.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think the last time we came here, Chuck and I did a DJ gig before.
Seriously?
You're right.
Yeah,
I was walking around the neighborhood here, and I'm going, I've been here before. It wasn't too long ago. Familiar territory.
Right? You guys tour like crazy. I mean, you guys play so many shows so frequently. Do you remember the places that you go to, or does it kind of everyone starts to look the same?
We remember Albany.
Yeah.
I think
Albany.
everything
Oh, yeah.
looks more.
I can't
See?
pronounce it, but I remember it. Go ahead.
It's so funny.
Everything looks more familiar to me but my own home.
I'm
When
sure.
I get
I am
home, I'm
sure.
a little lost, but out here on the road, I feel very comfortable.
So you guys have been a part of Alice's band for a very extended period of time. How did you get involved with Alice and being like basically his main guys on the road?
Everybody always says it's the right place at the right time, but I think both Chuck and I were in many wrong places at many wrong times to get to that point, you know. And then it was just that I've been with him on and off since '96, and Chuck's been with him since 2002 consistently. So
You know, Alice always has the top of the line. He's not trying to bring the B-listers with him. You know, it's always bringing the A game. And he's had a kind of a rotating roster of musicians that's been with him. How have you guys sustained your longevity?
Well, I've always really thought that you know when I was in the band, the guys that I was playing with was Ryan Roxie and Eric Dover and Eric Singer and Alice and Teddy Zigzag as well. And I'd always felt like they made me step up my game as a bass player and as a musician. And I felt I've been in the band now. There's been 20 different guitar players and a bunch of different drummers, but it's always been guys that bring an originality, professionalism to the band as well, and it's great being a bass player because you get a real chance to play with some excellent musicians, and everybody sort of has something that you can feed off of and grow off of, and I really like that about I love this lineup now, but in the past it's always been fun to be able to say, yeah, I've jammed with that guy or that guy, or that girl.
Yeah, for sure.
But I will have you know, this lineup is the most consistent lineup Alice has ever had since the original band.
Yeah, it
And-
appears.
and
Yeah, it seems that way.
We've been together now for what, 4 or 5 tours in a row now. It must be so, and it's a very consistent lineup, and I think everybody knows their place on stage. We all are supporting slots to the guy that sings,
Right.
And that guy that sings, his name's on the marquee, so we all respect that. Plus, Alice always gives each of us our spotlight.
Yeah,
So
no,
we're really happy about
that's one thing I love about this show is that we get to he highlights everybody's piece in the stage show. You know, we all get to see how that works out. You guys have some other projects you do in your own rights too outside of Alice. Was there any specific word of advice that he has given you over the years that has just kind of stuck with you in terms of dealing with your music outside of Alice Cooper Band?
Well,
Well, I think the one thing I've learned from Alice and Shep, to be quite honest with you, because I've always been sort of an eyes wide open type of person where I'm going into every experience, whether it's with Alice or somebody else I've played with, like Ronnie James Dio or whatever, and I take what I can from it. I learn from it. I've really applied a lot of things that Alice has taught me as far as surrounding himself with musicians like you talked about. With Bisto Blanco, I think I've got the A-listers out there. I've got some of the best musicians I feel that I could be in a band with, and producer Ryan Green. I've surrounded myself with guys that I trust. I don't have to be there to oversee everything, and I know that they're going to deliver something that's beautiful and artsy and creative and inspiring as well. And with Shep, I've really learned how to put a show together. And so with those type of things, I just feel like it's just trusting your gut and sort of knowing that things are going to go wrong at times. It doesn't mean you have to throw it away because it doesn't work the first time. It's just you got to learn to fine-tune it, give yourself a chance to figure out who you are. And sometimes it's in front of a bunch of people, which is kind of exciting, to be honest with you.
For sure.
yeah, I think that Alice has not only taught us about music, he's taught us about the music business.
Right.
And when Chuck refers to Shep, that's Shep Gordon, which has been Alice's manager since day one. So I think both those guys together, they have a really good business sense. And what I've learned from Alice is that it's all rooted in music, but you do a lot of other things. A lot of people know Alice as a golfer. A lot of people know him from the radio show.
Right.
A lot of people know him from, owning restaurants and this and that. But at the end of the day, it's all rooted in the fact that he's a rock and roller, and he's still bringing it at a very professional level. And I think that's what we try and do. Me with my solo project stuff, Chuck with Bisto Blanco. Chuck has an album coming out next year. I put an album out this year called Imagine Your Reality. So we try to take all those lessons that we learned from Alice over the year and put them into our own projects.
You mentioned the radio show. Alice Cooper is on Q103 Albany every weeknight from 8 until midnight. And we get to hear some of his stories, that he tells. And he likes to get a little cheese-tastic sometimes, if you will, right? You hear any, like, some super cheesy dad jokes from Alice that he, like, repeats over and over again?
Well, we golf a lot. The three of us golf, Chuck, Alice, and myself. And we call it... We call it the script. And it's something like we've heard a lot of the same stories when he goes out with these golfers, but every single time it seems interesting. Alice is a great storyteller. He has a way of telling a story that you are still interested in, even though you've heard it, a few times before. And they always change just enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
Just enough.
Alice said this one thing is quite funny. He says, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I know that you have to get ready for a show tonight, so thank you so much for stopping by and giving us a couple minutes of your time today. Is there anything you would like to leave to the listeners of the Capital Region before we let you mosey on your way?
Hey, well, we just want to, first of all, thank all you crazy, sick things out there, the Alice Cooper supporters. We love you. I love you guys. I love jamming for you. All these years I've been with Alice Cooper. I plan on doing it for the rest of my career. And if you get a chance, check out Bisto Blanco and just keep your love and support for rock and roll.
Wait, before I actually let you go, isn't Alice's daughter in your band? Did I read that
Cooper
right?
Is in my band, yeah.
She's the lead singer of your band?
Yeah,
go pick up. You can check these guys out because I was giving them a little listen yesterday, actually, and it was definitely a fun sound to listen to. And I say pick up that album when you can.
Thanks for having us on, Candace. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.